What up, homies? Happy Valentine's Day. $1 late and a day short. Do you love Valentine's Day? It's your first skill testing question of the day. Straight, I made you a toasted tomato Sammy. Yo, Journals, how you doing? Hope you're having a good day. How are you? Beautiful. That's a nice picture there, Journals. Journals, I don't recognize you. You're new to the channel? Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you. I don't even... Yeah, my wife was working on Valentine's Day. I don't know if she said Happy Valentine's Day to me. I think she did, but I don't know. I honestly don't think anybody said. That's what I'm getting at. Nobody said Happy Valentine's Day to me this past Valentine's. I'm pretty sure. Tam Sack. Mike Kuya. Journals. Shared. Thank you so much. I'm going to pin your comment. I'm going to get you a wrench so that other people can see your content and check you out. Anybody who plays by the rules of being good, you know how YouTube works. You know what you'd like if you know somebody came in your chat. You'd know what would make you happy. You did that for me. I'm going to go ahead and help you out too. Trey Landing. Holy crap. Journals. Say hi to my buddy Trey Landing. Trey Landing. Check out one of our new mods, buddy. I'm just waking up to have a pee. Okay, no worries. I hope you have a great sleep. 2:42 a.m. is very early in the morning, so I totally get it. I'm a early morning peer too myself. I'm so thirsty right before bed every night, you know. I highly recommend people don't drink before bed so you don't have to get woken up in the middle of the night. Mega love shout out. Now, if Straight would join, we'd have 3 mods in the chat. That would be awesome. Hopefully Bumdia's having a good day. She's having a... She's probably out getting her hair done or something, you know? Trey, I'm magnificent, bro. I hope you'll be around today, Trey. I'm going to do a couple driving videos. And I promise to shout you out on those videos. I'll pin all your comments. I don't know what happened, Trey. I think I deleted that screenshot of, like, you know, last week you sent me a super while we were driving, and I said I would use it on the Saturdays shows all day. Buddy, I couldn't even find it if I tried. And then when I did, I used 2 phones, right? And the phone I was using ended up being never the phone that I ended up using to live stream with at the time. The phone that I took the picture with, because I'm sitting there scrolling through thousands, and it should be always at the top, right? But sometimes I noticed it kind of smidges it to like 50 back. Oh, I don't know why. I think it's because my phone is so full. But or it's after that update that I got on my Android. I don't know. But something is pushing my photos further back now. It's actually not a photo. It's a screenshot. So when I look in my folders, there's a separate folder for screenshots. I can't figure it out. You would think that even a screenshot would end up at the front of your folders, the front of your photo folders, but it just doesn't. So I don't know. But I was really busy last week too, buddy. We ended up putting out a bunch. I'm pretty sure I shouted you out pretty good though. I said I couldn't find it on some of these videos I made. On the new Hash Info Show channel on YouTube. I haven't uploaded those videos yet. That's what's going on. So I have about 5 or 6. I could show you the video. No, I can't actually right now. The whole video is what's my name. So I can't. And there's like 6 of them. But let me just double check I didn't delete all that. Pretty sure I have them. There's always something going on here. What's up? Believe it or not, they're on this phone, so I can't check right now until after. Congrats having 2 phones. Oh, thank you so much. I actually have 4 or 5, but this is the Samsung S20. It's got the 100 times space zoom. Pretty happy, pretty proud of this phone. And then in the living room, we have a phone I haven't even hooked up yet, so that'll be my gaming phone. And I'm hoping for a new streaming phone soon. Both my phones that I'm using are full of cracks. They're from 3.5 years ago, and I wasn't bragging. They're older. They're good phones. They're 3 years old. But for gaming now, I know they're costing me in game. People can see deeper in the screen, better resolution, way faster response time. So like when they push fire, it's firing instantaneously. When I do it, 3 millisecond delay or 80 millisecond delay, like I have a delay. So that sucks. But we'll get stuff figured out. One for the plug and one for the buddy. The goats all around. What's the third one for? Mistresses. But it's not even hooked up yet. Damn it! The wife won't let me turn on the mistress phone yet. So Trey, I had my birthday, eh? Oh, I had a birthday party. I'm not gonna physically say I had my birthday. It's my birthday weekend right now. But no, forget all that. Just listen to me for a second, buddy. By the way, please no super chats, buddy. Promise me for 1 year, okay? The reason I'm asking you, you're too good to me, and I appreciate that more than you know. But I only want to chat with you, okay? So let me tell you this story, a funny story. Quick one, too, really quick one. The other day we go to I got a birthday cake, buddy. They got me a birthday cake and they got me veggie platters and stuff, buddy. It was really tasty. Apple slices and cucumber slices and Kalamata olives, all kinds of stuff. There's everything. All kinds of crackers and hummus dips. Oh, buddy, it was tasty. I was super. Oh, and pizza. Oh, there was pizza, bro. It was so good. There was pizza, bro. And then there was gummy bears and more gummy bears and all kinds of things. And I was just getting offered. And I was like, really? And then we did some stogies. You know what I'm saying? We did some stogies. So we had some pierogies. You know what I'm saying? They were like smoky bacon or something. You know what I mean, bud? Holy crow, buddy. We did cones, buddy. We did like 5 cones. me and the tiniest girl you could ever imagine. She's way older than me, but well, not way, but she's like 3 older than me. But you know what I mean. She's like 40 pounds. You know, the cone was bigger than her. I was just like, it's kind of weird. Like, and she holds it up. It was like bigger than her head. I'm a decent sized guy, pretty big guy. So the cone is like just a little bit bigger than a king size for me, right? But when she was taking it out, I was just like, that looks so weird, man. So weird. Just like half a ruler, you know? It just looked weird at first because I'm not used to seeing that stuff, right? I'm a total glass dude. And so anyway, I said to my chick, I'm like, so what time does the stripper get there? You know, I'm like, I'm curious. I'm like, I'll freshen up. I'll at least put chapstick on my ass or something. You know, figure something out for her, right? So, you know, that happened, and there was no stripper, bro. I was so disappointed, buddy. It was so hummus all day, bro. There was no stripper. Oh, I'm like, is she late? Is she running late? You know, to get a flat? There's all these questions running through my head, and then I was like, my wife not love me? You know, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, this is like, my life is basically over now. Like, you know, I've been married for way too long. You know, I'm like, the least you two could have done is like get a hot stripper, you know? And seriously spice up the moment. Like, do something you don't normally do. And like, to see my face, like, if the shoe were on the other foot and I was a chick, and like, you know, I would want to see the look on my dude's face if I was a chick, right? I can't even picture myself. But I would have done that all day. I would have gone in debt 10 grand to see the look on my dude's face. If I can't stop, I don't know what's going on. Something going on. I hope you're all having a great day. But seriously, I'm telling you, I am getting funnier and better looking. So it's like a twofer. No matter how hard they try, they can't stop us now. I love hummus big time, yo. Buddy Trey, you gotta try the roasted red pepper hummus, man. Holy. Yo. I'll show it to you. I'm not going to eat any right now, but I'll show you the sheen. Look at the sheen on this. Yo. Tell me that one ain't looking spicy. It's not. It reminds me of spinach dip, hummus. It reminds me almost entirely of the cheese and crackers. Remember when you were a kid? Your mom sent you off to that horrible place? No, not your grandparents' school. The really horrible place. My alma mater was awesome. I used to, there was nothing I wanted more than going to my alma mater. Check this out though. There's definitely a different vibration. And I felt it even as a young youth. I used to sleep on the floor, man. I don't know why. I guess there's limited beds or something. I was really young. I don't know. Kids used to be like treated a little differently or when they were young. But I used to sleep on the floor. Not like all the time or anything. Just like for some reason I ended up sleeping on the floor in the middle of the living room one time. I remember waking up and I'm like, what the hell am I doing on the floor in the middle of like, I didn't even really know where I was. You ever get startled when you like don't know where you are? Well, I woke up on the floor and I feel like I got abducted that day, actually, to be real with you. Like they put me back in like a horrible spot. The more I think about it, I bet you they put me in a bed and I got abducted and like the aliens were doing meth. I got abducted by the methers. Hey? And they left me in the floor in the middle of the living room in front of the TV while it was off. Like laying fully dressed with my clothes on. Oh, I don't understand. And I swear the next day I was like 4, 1984, 83, 84. But I was real young. Maybe 85. No, because I was already, no, it couldn't have been. It had to be before that because they were still together. So I was on the floor and it was 83 or 84. Now I got chips in my hand, you know? So, I don't know what you all are about, but I ain't playing. I know what this is and everything, so, you know. Just think about it like this, okay? If the show ever changes so drastically that it's just awful in every way, it's to this or it's to that, or I just lie all the time every day, or I don't talk to you from the very bottom depths that my heart will even extend and reach, then you know that something's happened to me, all right? But on that note, nothing is ever going to happen to me because of the simple fact that not only are they powerless, but they are the weakest forms of energy here. So remember that. Be good, because good always over. There is something lurking in light, right? Something always lurking in the light. But it's so small and it's behind you, right? Just know it's there, but still be brilliant in the light, you know? Don't let your ability to shine bright on others be dismayed by greed, right? Don't bring somebody else down if it makes you money, right? Don't work for the devil if it's going to bring your soul and your spirit not only down, but if it's stolen from you. At what cost is the price of fame, right? Truly, at what cost? So I have an idea of who you're signing a deal with, right? I can think of a word that has horns, you know? And I truly believe when you sign, you are signing your soul away. Because if you look at what you get out of it, it's money, right? And fame. And then people can, with all over the world, can harass you and bother you, right? If you stay away from the money, which is all these contract deals for horrible sugar drinks, right? Sugar drinks, all these do you know that sugar is a drug? Caffeine is a drug? Do you want your kids on this stuff? Do you want your kids to be influenced by somebody that they think is super cool, but all day they hold up a can of this? Meanwhile, it's been rinsed out so good with a pressure washer. There is literally some reverse osmosis water in that can. But you don't know that. Do you understand? People that will sell their souls are actually taking the souls of everyone else who they lied to. Do you get the concept? If you have 10 million people who watch you and you are harming them by drinking those things and promoting those things, period. And I've always said that when I came here. I said from day one, anyone who sips an energy drink is a total goof. Goof. And that's just step one. Go look around you and see which YouTubers got a drink in their hand right now. And go check their status in the Department of Heart, of love. Not of, oh, I got followers and they'll buy my plastic keychains for $49.99 with a hawk on it. Like, that's so bad. And your children are becoming these Muppets for these Kaya-driven agendas. Period. Flat out. You got to learn what TV stations are entirely. You got to learn. After World War II, TV stations were completely overtaken worldwide by certain entities. Period. Google it right now. After World War II. Do you know why? Because it never actually ended. They just have to propaganda. You can't hear what happens in Australia in towns right now where people are complaining about municipal water, or in Iowa. You can't get the word of somebody who is on the ground in Iowa that has to drink that water in Flint, Michigan, or these places. Chicago, New York. You can't hear the conditions because it's not the agenda is to fix problems. It's to make as many things go wrong for as many as possible without you realizing it. How much salt can they put in this week's batch of fast food without you complaining to the people who are supposed to make sure that that never gets to those levels? Well, take a look at the pictures from people in the 1950s to 2024. And you tell me if the people don't look swollen 2 to 3 times bigger than normal. Not everybody. The average person, 50-60% of the planet, looks swollen compared to their ancestors. And you ask yourself, why? What is it? Remember, folks, if you enjoy my videos, just subscribe down below. You are one of the greatest, Trey Landing. Trey Landing is one of my favorites. I don't have money or fame. Am I okay then? Yes, my brother. You are my brother, and I love you dearly. That makes me so happy, because I don't either, right? And fame is not something to be thrown around. Fame is something to be, it's a privilege. To be famous would be an honor for me, and I wouldn't abuse it, not one day or second. Will it ever happen? Yeah, I'm very hopeful. I sure hope so. And the only reason I want it is so that I can help, not hinder. I don't want to sell you t-shirts in plastic, When I'm famous, it means I'll have extra cash to help those people whose roofs are caving in or leaky, or, your window's broken and it's winter and you can't afford a window. I'm your guy when I'm famous, you understand? You go live with me and show me that. I want to call the window company in your city, in your town, in your continent, and order you a fucking window on the spot on a live stream. Oh yeah. One love. Rastafari. John, man. Jolly, man. Yeah. Swamp famous counts big time. Buddy, I am a renowned swamp farmer. My last name actually means farmer, swamp farmer, I think, or farmer in the swamps. I'll Google it again. My name means, in German, swamp farmer. Rastafari. 1,000 blessings to you, Trey Landing. Oh, Trey Landing says he grows swamp donkeys. We gotta pin that one. Bro. Did I get it? I got big fingers. What did I end up pinning there? I can't see now. We're gonna end this poll. The Valentine's hearts are all over the chat. What? Okay, so did we pin swamp donkeys? I feel like it's pinned. Let me see here. Oh yeah, it's pinned. Unpinned. Good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's Rastafari. Yeah. Rastaman, Rastaman. Yes, I be Rastaman. Remember I used to sing that song about being a Rasta? There was a dude from Winnipeg who actually he listened. No, seriously, like, and it not being real. This warmed my heart. And I met this guy. I know this guy. I met him. I don't know how many times. I met him before though. I've seen him around a bunch of times actually. I've seen him. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I never said your name or nothing. He's a nice guy. Look, I mean, he likes me, so there's no quarrels or qualms. Anyway, listen to this. Fucking, I don't know what year it was. And I made this video like first year. I was sitting at the glass coffee table on the couch there, staring down on it. It was one of the first things I ever did on YouTube. It's within the first like 60, 100 videos. I belt out into a Rastafarian theme song, bro. I create the theme song for Hash Info way back in the day. Don't even remember what it is now. Totally concussed out of my head right there in that moment. The very second, I was absolutely blurred. Headaches like you don't even believe. But at that moment, I was free of headaches and pain. And I sang a song of freedom, I think. Damn it, it's pissing me off. I can't even remember a word of that. Dude, there's a guy in Winnipeg who knows every word of it. There's like fucking 3 choruses in that thing. Dude, I used to, for the record, I knew it for 2 or 3 years, but I forgot it. Man. And in the video, there's some fire, some straight flames, bro. So, but yeah. I'm not gonna say his name. I was gonna shout him out, but no, I don't. He's a cool dude. You know who you are, obviously. I'm sure you still watch. Hopefully you're doing good, man. And I'll see you. I'll see you around, buddy. April be coming here. Maybe we'll hit up the 420. I don't really do the 420 thing anymore at the Parliament. Like, we legalized it, so we don't need to. I don't need to go sit there and protest, because there's nothing to protest about it now, really. Like, I mean, if there is, I don't know why. Like, it doesn't affect me, and yeah, I still would come if someone was like, yeah, they're still doing this to me, which is us, because it's, you know, community, right? It's a culture. That's why it's a custom culture, meaning it's a customized culture of like-minded, beautiful, good-hearted people. You have to use the word good-hearted. When you say good, people can lie and say, oh, that group of good-hearted people, which it doesn't sound right, does it? So you always include Robin Hood was a good man. You use it like this too, because he's not gone. Robin Hood has the ability to be in every man and woman. Every child is born a Jedi. Absolutely 100%. They're born with the Force, and then by the time you are older, they steal your abilities. They limit your ability. They say that's nonsense. There is stuff that is so mystical that has been forgotten. Knowledge, ancient ancient secret knowledge. I'll give you an example of exactly the truth. This is a fact. This isn't a lecture or speech, but it turns out this is. This is going to be the greatest speech ever given, ever. All at once in 10 minutes or less. Right now, watch this. Tell me, prove me I'm wrong in this next, what I'm about to say. Tell me that what I'm saying now isn't true because of this. How were the pyramids built? Just that. Where did they get the energy from in the Baghdad batteries? Where did they get the information on that long ago? But we didn't have that less than 185 years ago. We didn't have electricity. But they built pyramids that had Baghdad batteries that are apparently 50,000 years old. So right there, that says there was a super race of people with an ancient knowledge on something, a builder's code, that they can build stuff to within a quarter inch of exact. And we can't fathom how to do that to this day, right now in the future, which is now with satellites and Wi-Fi and quantum computers. We can't build that pyramid. So you tell me there is an ancient mystical knowledge that absolutely catastrophically is far greater than anything we've ever had. You tell me we are not a race of new beings here to learn right now about that. But they are keeping this occult knowledge, whatever you want to call it, Freemasonry, you want to call it Knights Templar, you want to call it. There are so many different names for groups. They are custom cultures, groups of people who come together to think a certain way. Why do we limit it? Why? And I'll tell you why. So you can control. Knowledge is power, and the one who possesses the knowledge, they used to say the one who possesses the book, written and read by the most people, the one who writes the book and has their book read by all the eyes will control everyone. So when you look up publisher, the term publisher, for instance, in social media or in the internet era, every single platform, meaning if it's Twitch, Twitter, X, Facebook, do you know what a publisher is? If you want to get your book published, I have a question for you. Does it cost you anything? If you want to get a publisher to publish your book, do you have to put money out? Hey Google, do you need to pay to have a book published? Ooh, wow. I am either on dial-up or, okay, publish your book. $249 publishing services. Write it, we publish it. So you mean I can't just get some? While you can design one yourself or use free online tools, which don't bother, investing in a professional cover design can make a significant difference in attracting potential readers. Several publishing platforms, such as Amazon Kindle, you notice how big of a name they just use? And whatever else, allow you to publish your book for free. How much is a book publication fee? Here we go. The average cost of basic packaging in India. Why India though? Is a lot. Apparently, I don't know what this comes to, but let's look it up. It says 20,000 INR, and then it says range from 50,000 INR. I mean, it's not saying it's free, so there's your answer, right? Now, if you want people to read all 100, you've written 100 books, you're 50. You've written your whole life. You have 1,100 books. You can't have your book seen, right? You can hire cheap expert indie publishers spend an average of $500 to $1,000 American each to publish each book. But the average cost for a new author is at least $2,000 to $5,000. So here's one. And this is for creative indie. This is not going with... I'm not saying their names, okay? And you don't want to support these things. Like, it's... You need to spend billions if you want to be the... Like... How much does it cost to become New York's #1 bestseller? Oh, $250,000. It's an expensive process. 100, and this is what I mean. You don't understand. And what I just did, they don't want you to know. How do you become... This is... I can't help you all the time, okay? In short, New York Times bestseller list requires an author to make a minimum of 5,000 book sales, higher depending on the list, in a single week across diverse retailers from multiple geographic locations. So you have to use your imagination and think if you were really rich and some other people you knew were really rich. It's called pumping the tires. It's called the hype man. I can't tell you anymore. If you think anything about any of this is proper, trust me, it isn't. And plus, they take royalties too. They then take 10% or more. Look, I'm here for you to understand stuff. Make sure you watch all my videos right to the very end. They're going to get hotter and hotter as we go on here, but I'm not going to keep doing these forever. I'm changing the tempo again and again. We're going to probably go straight comedy soon, but for a bit, just for a bit, we're going to keep doing this because I really strongly feel that people need to understand and know exactly what I know. So if I can lock it in for the next however long, I'm not going to say the duration, but if I can get, because I know I get stuff, okay? Let me read you something here. I'm quite proud of this. I'm super proud of myself, my accomplishments. I'm super proud of my wife. And of my family. My family is very helpful and good. My wife's family is my family, and my family is her family. So we're good. I want you to listen to this for a second. This is all I got for you after this. But this makes me so happy. In 28 days, 165,000 unique viewers. And this isn't even a hot time, okay? It's not. Wait, it's gonna be drastically higher. It used to be way higher, but I'm worried about that. I'm doing what I'm doing, okay? Think about that. Think about that. And if y'all have brains, which you do, you then move it on. And you move it on until everybody is illuminated all at once. And you're going to make a decision, a choice, and you'll have options for yourself. And that's something that's really hard to get to. But if you could get there, it's freedom. You're free. You have won the game. And I love you all very much, and that's how I can help you. You have to do it yourself. You have to learn it yourself. Don't be like, oh, well, then I'm not going to do it. Stop. Look, I was influenced by people who didn't come at me like this. So I'm 10-folding, 150,000-folding the slight tidbits I got when I was 19, 20, yo. By some of the most beautiful, good-natured, good-hearted people that have lived in these recent times. These times are getting colder. Not like they weren't super cold before, but I think the 60s might have been like, they realized, damn, I think what they thought was going to work out in their favor for mind control ended up not. It literally unlocked and made Pinocchios out of everybody. It turned you all into a man. Whether it be a woman or a man, you all woke up. And that's not like, I'm not this like person that thinks like that. That's why some of the thumbnails or the titles I use are these things. Like, I like making fun of things that, yes, you are coming to light, right? Like there's certain sayings that's like, damn, that means that? And it's like, yeah, bro. When it comes to light, what does it mean to you? Like, leave a comment down below, whether it's now or later. What does it mean to you when that comes to light, right? Doesn't it mean it's good? Like something, like, wouldn't you want things to come to light, right? So it's meaning, you're going to wake up bright. You can't wake up in the darkness. You sleep in the darkness. As soon as it gets light out, your eyes open. All right, so waking up to me is brightening up. What does it mean? What does it mean to brighten up? When you were in the 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, doesn't matter. They said brighten up. It meant a couple things. It meant cheer up, or it meant like you need to get a little smarter too. You get a little brighter, So, and what is light? How do you get light? Do you have to plug in a cord to an outlet? What is light? Right? So think about these things. Like, it does correlate, these things correlate. And this isn't religious. I love everybody. I think some of you have been taken advantage of so hard, good-natured people sent adrift on lullabies and fairy tales every day, every fucking day. And it pains me to see that. You can't live your life and say there's a right way and there's a wrong way. And you can't be so far fucking adrift every Sunday from the rest of us who, they're continuing to prep and, to exercise and love everybody, not judge. There's a lot of judging that comes on Sundays, eh? Everyone's judged. But if you look around you, who's sitting next to you on a Sunday on a wooden bench, you see a lot of creepers. You're like, I recognize that dude. Like, that dude for sure, creeper. Creeper there. You're like, whoa, dude. I heard about every damn dude in here. They're creepers. So, I'm not, and that's of course not everyone, but a lot of people I grew up with were weird. They were like, oh, no gambling, no, none of this, no plants. Meanwhile, they're sipping, hitting their wife, going to, having someone cover it up a bit because of who they are. I'm not making this up. And worse too than this. But then the shoe goes on another community member's foot and it's a plant. 3 years in prison for holding a plant in your pocket. And somebody else knocked the teeth out of a woman. And they didn't even get a fine. Our system was always broken because it wasn't led with conscience and true good. It's always been led with greed and tyranny and the lack of knowledge. They downplay. They find out something, the archaeologist says something to them, and they're like, you know what, dude, we're going to give you the best job ever. Like in New Zealand, at another top of another mountain, here's 10 million. We've got a chopper. Here it is. Head out there and do the research out there now. Meanwhile, they're like, oh, don't worry. We're going to publish all your papers. We're going to do 10 books for you. Well, the dudes out there doing the research, they're still getting it. And that was in 1994. Still They didn't pay no $250 to Roll Doll or whatever to get it published. What's really going on? Where did it go? Where did the dude go? And like, where's his tales of awesome? I just love the way people are so daft and so passionless for another life. But when it comes time to a pigskin or a checkered ball, you lose your shit at a pub and you'll go to jail for that ball. Sickens me. So I boycott all sports forever. I will boycott all music entirely as well. And I do it for the people. You know, I enjoy a hockey game once or twice, you know, and sitting by my wife and with people I like, you know, and cheering when people score. But if it comes at the cost of freedom, I refuse to do. And if I know I'm going to be part of this monstrous problem, then I refuse to. Ever again. And this is the only way we will win. There is a right way and there is a wrong way. Whose side are you on? You fuel them, or are you going to ensure that you fuel the proper friends and family, businesses who love Robin Hood? The choice is yours. But I refuse to side with evil any longer. I have made mistakes in the aspect of going to hockey games, football games. Pretty sure earlier I said honkies, hey? Honkies, hey? I think football is way worse than hockey, but at the same time, it's all the same mess. It's still it's still a big building full of drunken, stupid people, really. At the moment, right? At the moment, any one of those people could turn evil in a heartbeat. Proper circumstances, right? Not lead with their conscience in a good fashion, in a good manner. Man or woman. I've seen it from both sides, right? Man and woman. At hockey games, at football games. I've seen it all. I've seen weird stuff, you know? And I've tried to de-escalate several situations where, you know, I'm not going to get too far into it, but the guy was evil towards me, and I'm trying to make sure he doesn't get tased. And I was like, oh, you're too far gone. I'm like, whoa, I have to back up. Like, I'm one of the nicest guys. I want everybody to live peacefully. I want everybody to not be harmed or feel wicked pain like I've felt before. You understand? Most of you have zero pain threshold. You'll be screaming for the ambulance. For days, you know? I've been in an ambulance one time and I was 10 or something, and it was I was tobogganing, which is a deadly sport. But when you do it down ice hills, literally down pure sheer ice hills. I live in the Arctic, we'll just say. And yeah, you can just say that. We tobogganed on wooden toboggans, and there was turns, and in the turn there was like a piece that didn't get wallowed out, and it was like a big knob on the upper side, and you had to like make sure you made it around. Well, this long ass toboggan wasn't going around, and I was going so fast. It was sheer ice. It was minus 40 or something. I'm not making this up. Like, people lost fingers, toes, and noses that day. Like, shit went down. 1990, we had an ambulance in the middle of it was snow all around. There was no roads where we were. Yeah, like all my buddies were like, holy. I lifted my shirt and I was like, I was all blue at the time. But that night when I got out of the hospital, they had to cut my jeans off me. It was really a weird evening. I don't know if the jean thing was necessary, or maybe it was. I don't know anymore. But yeah, it was. I was upset about the jeans too. It was like my only pair of jeans. I grew up poor. I grew up poor. No problem with that. This was the beginning of, my life as, I grew up poor. It didn't last for long. It lasted for as long as it lasted, and I'll never forget it. I know what it means to be poor. And I'm okay with it. I would do it again because it was better than what I was living with. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't understand it, but looking back, I'm glad I was poor. But I'll put it rather than stay there. I'd be a mean man. I'll tell you that if I had stayed with that mean man. So I went and lived with my mom, and I was like 4 years old, 5 years old, and never looked back. Loved it. I love my mom. Some people just have a gift of hatred, you know, wicked evil. Probably, maybe the devil. Like, it's not the devil, but yeah, maybe the devil is in people, right? Maybe the devil can fully control people because he was pure evil. So I had I had good moments, but he was dumb. He didn't like he took me hunting and just like I think of some of the stuff, man. I'm like, how did I make it, yo? I was just a tiny thing. But if he hadn't beat me, maybe somebody else would have got me by now. I'll explain. Evil will keep kicking you when you're down. Evil will keep kicking you when you're down. And I mean that like literally. So don't stay down. No matter what, you got to get back up as fast as you can. Every time. Doesn't matter. He can knock you down 6, 10 times. You got to get back up instantly. Don't ever let evil win. I had companies telling me lies. I had companies basically trying to frame me. And I recorded it, so thank God. Because when I played it back for this lady who she lied, she said she basically said, I'm gonna say that you said this, and I said stop everything. Wait, just listen to this, and I pulled it back and I hit play. I had two going, but I stopped the main. I had already had enough. I had clips. She didn't know I was making 3 to 6 or 12-minute clips. People don't understand who I am, okay? That's just petty. I won't tell you nothing. You have no idea, okay? All I can tell you is I'm a good man, and the people out there that matter, they know that. This is what counts. Those people aren't nobodies. You understand? They are not nobodies. If you look around the chat, you'll always see there's at least 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the chat. Always, because there's something there that you couldn't even fathom. We're in a different age right now. We're in a new age, okay? And this age is under control. Everything is under control. By something you can't understand, and you couldn't fathom. The same way I piece together these things for you on a show, they already know it all, right? But they have to decide what I can teach you, to what limit. But if they do anything that I don't like, there is serious, very, very serious ramifications to their actions against mine, everything. Serious. Everything. Somebody else is watching and has more power than you. That wherever you are in your little cubicle in your tall office building, there is somebody watching that is above you. And they are in control. And of you, of the person high up in the tower, in the ivory tower. You guys don't even get that metaphor. These are ancient terms that this is the real, I am the real deal, okay? I can correlate ancient language to a degree. There are things out there that we have been taught, or you could have paid attention to for 15 years to grasp the same things I am right now. Even there's people who grasp 100 times more than me right now, or they're dead now, but there were and are and should always be people who get things better than me forever, but not many, because of how evil and sadistic this programming is. It's there's a fork in the road. There's the way to the end of the 33rd level, so you can have all the knowledge that's ever been, tuned in. Or you can go off and follow their little maze, and get lost in there forever. And it's a little world. There's some tidbits of some stuff in there. The majority of that is just going to have you giggling, get you swollen, and your life won't be as rich as it could have been had you went the other way. Just that other way. It's not hard. It's a choice. It's a simple choice for some, and for others, they've been so indoctrinated and ingrained to this one way of life that they can't see past the fact that everything is greed driven. Period. And people are like, well, it's easier said than done. Well, you're right. But how soon and how quick did your family wake up, right? How soon and how quick did they wake up to leave you with something that was proper, right? So that you could be something now, right? Some of these families, what they call old money, is just people who never fucking went in that maze to begin with. They knew it was a maze, and they were told, you can't, whatever you do, don't watch the Black Mirror ever. Teach your kids, if you love them and you want to make money off your kids, teach them not to use the Black Mirror. Your kids are worth, $2 to $3 million each. Most people who are extremely rich know this. So I'll give you a quick example in terms of certain families' names, and I'm not giving examples. There's one just right, easy, and quick. They say their assets are worth $40 billion a year. The family's assets. Did you know that? So you can use just you and your spouse, or you can say, well, my 3 kids are they work in the company too, and the company's in all 5 of our names, and these 16 companies are worth $42 billion in total. However it works in revenue, building, like if they were to liquidate everything. This is what we have. Can we borrow money from you? This amount at this fair rate, which is fuck all, probably 0.5%. For 40 years, but we'll pay you back this much a year, figure it out. And they all say, yeah, sounds good, looks good. Even if there's a problem, we can just, liquidate your stuff and take it. We can clear your debt. So, yeah. So what happens is some people's kids don't help their parents, right? Which is it's obvious, right? There's selfish people, and then there's people who are just trying to make it on their own, right? Now you have to look at, do those kids come back and ask their parents for money later, right? Did you help paint the cupboards in your kitchen, and did you mow the lawn every day for 14, 24 years while your mom worked Saturdays, right? Did you trim all the trees? Did you build the garden with her? Did you haul everything? Did you do this and that? Whatever it is. Did you trim all the trees? Did you do the gutters every 6 months or 3 times a year? Right? Do you have a stake in there, even if it's just like whatever it's called, sweat equity, as Buddy put it, which is a great term and used it before. Obviously, we talk about sweat equity all the time on the show. Maybe not without saying that all the time, but it's absolutely a thing. But back to what I'm saying. But what if the parents borrow off the kids, but the kids did, what if the parents borrow off the kids, but the kids did help the parents? They did babysit the other siblings, and they did do all the other things too, right? Who's using who in that scenario, right? So it's a thing. But take all that away. What if the kids, while they were young, helped the parents until they died, and then the parents left the kids everything that the parents accrued, even with the kids helping? Doesn't that make sense? That's the way the elites do it. And this is very, 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 very common knowledge. Most of the elites will joke and say, my kids are going to be football. These kids are in tennis, and the tennis instructor has been $47,000 a year for 10 years. My 10-year-old is now 20, and they're in the U.S. Open for $10 million purse. You get what I'm saying? So let's say it cost them $2 million in 10 years for special coaches and tournaments all over Canada and the States, and travel and gas and hotels. But there's the profit, 5 times the profit. It works like that. And obviously the smartest people will invest in their kids, knowing that there are places on all hockey teams or all baseball teams for fit kids, for kids with aptitude and intellect team abilities. There's other words I don't have them. This is why I'm saying it, or I can't figure out what they are. When you have attributes of team skills, you're a team player, right? I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't really know what that means. Everything I do is lone wolf. Okay, you understand? Everything. My wife is obviously a huge part of my life, but I prefer to do everything on my own. You could ask her. Of course, when my back doesn't let me, I'm like, hey, this is what I need done, and this is where I need it put. As if I was doing it. I said this is what I need done. You understand that term? It's not, could you give me a hand doing, this? I need this done. I need this done, so I need it done this way, right? Now, if she goes out there and says, well, you're stupid and it could be done this way, I'm like, oh yeah, no, you're smarter than me. Okay, we'll do it your way. But as long as that shit gets put right here, you know what I mean? At the end of this day, the job is done because I need this done in this spot, but I don't care how it gets done now. If she's got a way to do it in half the time, which usually she does, we do it her way, right? But point of this is to let you know that if you never mule someone, not your kids, no one. But if you want a team play, which, like, again, I'm not very good at that, ask somebody else. But what I'm saying is you should be team playing with your whole family right now. It's in your best interest, because at the end of every day, your family could be in debt, and that means they leave you nothing when they pass on. Do you get me? If you can aid your family, keep the home, and keep scraping by, you have a home in 30 years. It'll be paid off. You know what I mean? So as it stands, most people don't understand the way this game needs to be played for you. What I'm not calling, for people who don't have a home, or have one home and it looks like it's on the rocks, snap right out of it right now and ask for help. You should be demanding. You sit down as a family and demand that either your family understands there will be nothing for you, because you are giving nothing, you're inputting nothing into this family's riches. You understand? The Viking way, I can guarantee you, the mother didn't have her own separate treasure chest, and the three kids didn't have separate treasure chests. And the dad who went out and did whatever it was they did back then, not saying the women, obviously they went to battle too and took the spoils of war as well. So we'll put the mother, there's no way the mom and the dad had two separate treasure chests and the three kids had separate treasure. It was all in the center of the room, and it was their treasure. They could all look at it and touch it. And if they wanted to take something out, I guarantee you it had to go by the whole family. They had to agree that, okay, you want something that's worth 5 pieces of gold? Let's each take out 5 pieces of gold and celebrate our birthdays all. You know what I mean? Like, we each get 5 pieces of gold for our birthdays to celebrate on in any way we choose. Whether it's buying dinner for the whole family, and the Vikings always bought dinner for their whole family every time. Nobody went out and got their own separate sword or their own separate iPad just for them to use. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everything I've ever owned has always been shared with my whole family, but like my immediate family. Whether it was like when I lived with my mom, if it was my new TV, she was always welcome to watch the new TV. Or whatever it was. Even if I came home or I was out, I was like, oh, no, go ahead. Like, what are you watching? I'll just watch this, you know? Or whatever it was, the new blender or the new iPad or the new PC. It was for anybody, right? Or the new Xbox or the old Xbox or you know, whatever it was. My stuff was always for my immediate family to use it whenever they wanted. I mean, of course, if I wanted to use it or I was using it, you can back off for a while. I'm right in the middle of it. But when I'm off of it, go to it for as much time as you want. You know, there's no timer on it. But come on, man. We all have to smarten up and think about each other, you know? It cannot no longer or just be, how can someone benefit me? But all day, every day, I never ask them if they need help, right? So, and I've worn myself thin, you know, lending hands. And then it's to the point now where I don't like talking to people because I always realize that they just always want help. Like, people always want stuff from me. It doesn't matter. Always, always, always. But you never hear them say, hey, Sean, what do you need? Hey, Sean, what can I do for you? Now, of course, I have buddies that offer help and have given me help. So I'm eternally grateful. But that's different. Right? That's very different. And that does run out eventually too. Like, it's not like my body is, I don't have enough hours in a day for myself. Sorry, I can no longer aid you the way I once could. My life is extremely busy, and until I'm filthy, filthy rich, I won't have time to spend helping you. You know, it's basically this. I was rich, gave all my money away, and now I'm struggling to eat every day. And that is the way of a good man. That's the way my mom grew up, and that's the way my mom lived. Now you remember, people will take advantage of you. Succubuses and people who prey, evil preys on those it knows it can get a buck from every week, you know? I have a serious term for that here, but I'm not going to tell you, but it's a serious term. And it's true. You can look around you. In society, there is a term for that. Everyone has a group of people that is a bum, you know, a leech. A serious beggar, you know? Someone who begs all day. A beggar is someone who is like eternally mooch, you know? A mooch is probably another good word we used to use way back in the day. Mooches were like, I'll give you an example. 1996, okay? Group of the coolest people huddled in a circle in February. Oh, first break, you know? Parking lot, high school, all right? and goofs 1, 2, and 3 walk out of the high school doors, out into the parking lot, down the concrete ramp thing, eh? And you just turn your eye and you're like, oh no, and they're like, what? What do you mean here? And I'm like, look, and they're like, ah, and as soon as you see them, you not only you cringe, you're like, ah, like you just saw someone just like take a deuce right on your mom, or you're like, oh, what? Ah, no, please no. And it's like, yeah, that person, or those, 3 mooches running out together, low life, lower life, and the lowest of lives. And they're gonna ask you like what you're up to this weekend, where you're going, so they can be like, yo, can I get 3 of those drinks off you? Maybe can I get like, where are you going next? I need like some food. I'm just gonna hover over your plate of fries all night. It's like, oh my goodness. So I'm young. I'm 16 at the time, and I deal with these kind better than anybody I ever imagined. And I'm the one. If you're around, you already know I've got this. I don't care who you are. You don't say a word when I'm talking. No one in the circle ever said a moment. I turn and I look, I say, get out of here. Get going. Like rabid wolves coming at you. You got to tell them from afar. They get any closer and they're just like, hey buddy, how do you do? They just grab a hold of you and start hugging you and spitting on you. And it's like, what are you doing? Get out of here. So I say to him straight up, I'm like, you got any of this? Got that? You have anything? Get going, eh? And move it. But I'm telling you straight up, that's how I grew up. That's the man that I am. Everything I ever had, I sweated for, everything I've ever had. And it pains me to understand others get it for absolutely changing a dirty old diaper. It pisses me off. So yeah, I'm a little, torn when it comes to uppities and yuppies that think they're better than someone. They can't even hammer a tennis racket. You know what I mean? Like my back is blown and I can definitely get a good game of tennis in right now. Like any day right now, I could play tennis. I'm almost 50 and I'll crush any YouTuber right now in a game of tennis. Crush them. 49-0, but every time. And I just think to myself, it could be such a wonderful world without mooches, the ones whose parents taught them such an evil way. I have no other explanation for it. 99% of what a person is comes from where a person gained their influence from. We are putty, simple putty in our parents' hands. But when you refuse to, for a second, there's something to be said, I'll say this, my mom, she really, really tried very hard to indoctrinate me into this evil society. My mom's a good person who was one of those good people in the beginning I spoke about, who was led astray, right? She went in that damn maze. So did 99% of the people who lived in her time. There was no Alex and David and me and many others, I'm not a prophet, but there were people who I learned from, who I believe are some sorts of fortune tellers, seers. whether it be from correlation of data, a lateral thinker, one who has so much data points spread out, the same way AI thinks. We are that, but lateral thinking is every bit of AI. And when I was told by a dude that I'm a lateral thinker, it's probably coming from a lateral thinker far older than me, but my processing is at 10, 15 to 100 times his rate. I was reading his 2 to 3 next sentences he was saying guaranteed. He said it every time after I said it. I'm like, babe, we got to get out of here. And she's not really listening to me. She's like, no, we're here. This is the one. And I'm like, babe, I'm not paying 2, 3, or 4 or 5 times the price. I read this fucker's mind. Let's roll. And we left. But yeah, you know, I make moves, yo. I ended up with a DX Racer instead of, you know, a $49.99 Staples chair for $600. You know what I'm saying? I don't get fooled, bruh. But there's certain things that I see that you don't. Because my eyes are wide open. Bro, everything's right in front of you. I've always said it. Look in front of you. Wow. Trey Landing says, I am a Viking. My family is rich in spirit. I taught my people to be rich in spirit. Monetary value is so cliche. I didn't see that one. You wrote a bunch of stuff here. You said samples in 22 to 27%. Very nice. I come in about there. 24 was my average. But I had one that was around 29-ish or something. 28, 29. This was a few years ago. I haven't done it for a few years, and I should have the last few because it would have been even better. What do you got here, Don Cherry? What's this? Rough chops. I get that one. I hear that one, Trey. No, they got that other number. It's not even in the trillions. You can't really measure their worth because if they own the planet, you have to measure the cost of everything, right? Every piece of food, every building. You have to measure everything. You can't even. They own the world, man. It's the most illegal thing that's ever happened. What did I just do? I pinned it. We got to quickly unpin that. Trey, that one's awesome. Everyone says Ellen or Jeff, but Rothschilds sit back and laugh. Well, I mean, it's probably not even their name. I mean, they change their name every day. People don't know that. They change their spouse's name, divorce them, the spouse changes the name, they get married again, so the rich family name is always hidden under another, and they take it on right away again. Go look it up. It's the dirtiest scheme of all time. That's how all these corps can't be traced back to the same person, because you have to, it's really a huge paper trail. And I think it always is compartmentalized. Like there's only a certain agency in the world that can actually get to everything, but for some reason they still haven't got to it. They'd rather go check out like what OJ Simpson's doing, you know? Worry about like one person's life instead of everybody's lives, right? These agencies are so corrupt it hurts. I'll see you next time.